Hello, everybody. How you doing today? This is Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal, introducing you to yourself. And I want to welcome you to the H.E.A.L podcast. H.E.A.L is an acronym for Help, Elevate, and Learn, and it goes with my latest book by the same title, but the subtitle is A Guide for Healing Your Inner Child. And this week, I have a special treat for you. I have a double feature. I had the opportunity to be on Rushion McDonald's podcast, his money-making conversation masterclass podcast twice. And I wanted to share those with you just in case you missed them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share those with you because I know that they will be a help and a blessing to you. But I also want to thank our sponsor for sponsoring this episode, none other than BetterHelp. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/Cicone Prince H.E.A.L. You answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who's had years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or your computer, via a phone call, a video chat, or messaging. However you feel most comfortable, it is the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/Cicone Prince H.E.A.L or choose Cicone Prince H.E.A.L during your sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. And we want to thank BetterHelp for being a sponsor of this podcast. So I want to share with you the first podcast I was on with Rushion McDonald, and I'm telling you, it was an amazing time. Check this out.
Welcome to the show. I am Rushion McDonald, the host of Money Making Conversations Masterclass, where we encourage people to stop reading other people's success stories and start planning their own. Listen up as I interview entrepreneurs from around the country, talk to celebrities, and ask them how they are running their companies, and speak with nonprofits who are making a difference in their local communities. Now sit back and listen as we unlock the secrets to their success on Money Making Conversations Masterclass. Hi, I'm Rushion McDonald. I host the weekly Money Making Conversation Masterclass show. The interviews and information that this show provides are for everyone. It's time to stop reading other people's success stories and start living your own. I'm here to help you reach your American dream. Now, if you want to be a guest on my show, please visit moneymakingconversation.com and click the Be a Guest button. Let's get started. Today, my guest founded a personal development and leadership development company specializing in real-world business leadership and personal accountability approaches. He helps individuals, organizations, and companies get to the root of their behavior, performance, and areas of improvement to change their overall outlook and become more productive, encouraging, and inspiring. Please welcome to Money Making Conversation Masterclass, Cicone Prince. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, and you?
That's a lot going on. We're going to break this down to my audience here.
Okay.
Because I want to start with the word accountability, Cicone. What does that mean when you're in your business model?
Well, accountability means to me the ability to be accountable. Somebody once said that responsibility is your ability to respond. And we all have an opportunity to make the world a better place. But if we don't understand that that's what is given to us, to whom much is given, much is required, we won't live up to that mantra. And so my goal is to help people to understand that they have something to offer the world. Like my coach told me that you can be the aspirin to somebody's headache. But if you don't realize that, you will go somewhere and sit in the corner. You'll go somewhere and sit down. So to be accountable is to understand what it is you have and how valuable it is and that it's needed.
Now, let me ask this question to you. Is your business tied to following your faith or following your passion?
Honestly, it's a combination of both, because I believe that all of us, we have something that we've been placed here to do, because if we weren't needed here, we wouldn't be here. And so I know there are a lot of people that lean so heavy on their faith that they don't want to do anything. And I know that there are so many people that lean so heavy on their actions that they don't have any belief. But I believe that there has to be a combination of both. We have to be able to understand that, yes, we have talent, skills, and abilities, but it's not just for us to serve ourselves. We need to serve other people.
Reason I ask that because let's get to the background of who Cicone Prince is. Because I always tell people the journey of where you're at or currently now may not be how you started, but it's something that you believed in as a youth. Because I always tell people between the age of 18 and 24, you just fearless. You have all these dreams, all these aspirations. And then what happens is life takes over.
Yep.
And then you kind of start listening to other people. They tell you should do this. You might get married and careers might take you out of town. And you might get off course from your dream.
Hmm.
Are you doing what you're doing now that you wanted to or aspire to do between the ages of 18 and 24, Cicone?
No, sir, I am not. But
Tell me about that.
well, and actually, I have always been a very creative person, and
Uh-huh.
I found myself doing something that I really didn't think I would be doing at the time, and that was 3D animation. I
Mm.
had a company called 3D Solution Providers, and we did 3D animation and illustration. And I was actually at an event back in 2012. It was called the Power Networking Conference with Dr. George Frazier. And at that event, I wind up winning a quick pitch business Olympics where I was pitching my business. But while I was on stage, I had an epiphany. While I was up there telling people about my products or my services, I realized that my words could be used for more than selling a product or service. They could be used to sell people on themselves. You know, my first book was entitled Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain?
Mm-hmm.
About finding your true purpose. And I
Mm-hmm.
tell people there are three things you can learn by being on the wrong mountain. The first thing you can learn is this is not it. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I can scratch this off my list. But the second thing is being on the wrong mountain, you can identify the right one. And that's what happened to me at that conference. I realized this is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be encouraging and motivating people. But the
Mm-hmm.
third thing I tell people that you can learn by being on the wrong mountain is that once you've identified the right one, it's not going to take you that long to get up it because you have mountain climbing skills. There are things you learn even climbing the wrong mountain that you take with you. And so during those years, during those formative years of 18 to 24, there are a lot of lessons that you can learn, and they aren't, it's only a loss if you leave the lesson. And so many individuals, they consider, well, I've wasted my time. No, you've gotten experience. If anything, you learn what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to help people to understand that, listen, wherever you are in life, you have a wealth of experience and knowledge that's got you there. You know some things that work for you, some things that are good that you can pass on, but you also know some pitfalls that you can help other people avoid. So if we take it all as a total, then we'll understand that we have something to offer the world.
Well, how old were you when you hit the stage and you had that moment to realize that, you know, something, I'm doing this well, but this is not what I do? How old were you?
I was in my mid 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, yes, I was in my mid 30s.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when I did that, but up until that point, I was satisfied with the direction, in fact, that I was going. But again, I realized I was
But
climbing
who
the
was
wrong
pointing you in
mountain.
that direction where you were going? Who was telling you that was the right direction for you to go, Cicone?
Well, actually, it was me because,
Mm-hmm.
again, like I said, I love being creative, and 3D animation allowed me a chance to make something out of nothing.
Right,
When I hear
right.
words, I see pictures, and so people would
Mm-hmm.
they would literally give me a paragraph explaining a process or a new invention, and I
Mm-hmm.
could actually, as I read it, I saw pictures in my mind. So I would just go on my computer and I would make what I saw. I would
Mm-hmm.
animate, and I would actually help them to actually illustrate their vision of the future in 3D.
Right.
But again, I realized that my real talents, my real gift and abilities. And somebody would say, well, Cicone, how you come from doing 3D animation to doing, in fact, motivational speaking? Yeah, for me, it was easy because it just became a reverse engineering. Whereas before, somebody else was giving me the words and I was creating the visuals because I could see it in my mind. Well, now I have the vision in my mind. I just reverse engineer and I'm giving them the words. I'm painting a picture in their mind to help them to understand who they are and what they have to bring to the table.
Well, I think, Cicone, what they're asking you would go, how you go from motivation to from 3D animation to motivation is like, how do you have the courage? Because you know yourself, there's so many people are in marriages they shouldn't be in because they don't have the courage to get out of it.
Mm.
So many people are at jobs that they're working on a daily basis, but they're afraid to leave because they don't know if they can get that check someplace else. So there are a lot of people trapped in environments that they're not happy in out of fear. And I think the question that people are asking you is, how did you accomplish that? And what was the turning point you say, you know, something, this is not my path to my future?
Well, I guess my turning point came in two phases. One
Yes, sir.
was that event where I realized that my words could be used for something more than, again, selling a product or service. But the other point or was I actually watched Les Brown's 50-minute mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that really helped me to understand that I could change directions, I could change course. And I had a burning desire, and I still do, to help people. I mean, I tell people all the time, if I'm not here to help, then why am I here?
Right.
And so understanding the need that 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 everybody has to exercise their God-given talents and abilities, that was, again, it's like breathing to me. And so
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I could sell people on themselves. And that's what I started doing.
Selling people on themselves. Expound on that, please. Tell me that it almost like sounds like self motivation or showing people their value and allowing them to take advantage of it. I may be saying it wrong, but help me out.
Well, I'm going to help you out because my slogan is I'm Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself.
Love it.
And I think a lot of people really don't understand who they are and what they have. And because of that, they again allow the world to pass them by. They don't value their value and see what value their value brings. I'm going to say that again for those that are taking notes. People need to learn how to value their own value and then see what value their value brings. And so helping people to understand that you have more in you than you're putting out into the world. The question is, what's holding you back? And most of the time, it's just us and our fear and our inability to move past our own hangups. But when you realize somebody is waiting on you, somebody is desperately seeking what you have, then you'll find a way. If you can't find a way, you will make a way to get to them and to help them. But if you don't see how valuable your asset is, and I don't care what it could be frying chicken, it could be cutting grass, it could be doing accounting, it could be practicing law, whatever you've been gifted to do, somebody needs you. They are looking for you. When I show up, they turn me away. But when you show up, you make a difference in their life. And so my job is to help inspire people, or should I say motivate, because I believe inspiration can come externally. You can inspire somebody, but motivation has to be internal. What's your motivation? When you understand what you have, like I tell people all the time, until you know who you are, anything can stop you. But once you know who you are, nothing can.
Okay. Before I answer my next question, what's your slogan again, Cicone?
I'm Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself.
Okay. Help me out with a person, 50 years old, you know, at a job. Because that 50 is a rough year for people. Because sometimes they feel this is how I'm going to ride it out. They might tell themselves there's no relationship out there for them. This is the only job in my life. They want to be an entrepreneur, but they're afraid. They have no mentorship. Now, this is about what you're saying, looking into yourself, self-motivation.
Right.
And that's what you do.
Right.
I got a lot of listeners who are listening to this show right now who need self-motivation. Help them out, Cicone Prince.
Well, my first question.
50 years old now. 50 years old. 50 years old.
50 years old. Okay, if you're 50 years old, in fact, my question to you is, what is it that you love to do? What is your passion? What is that thing that you would do even if you didn't get paid? What is that thing that you get excited about? That thing that you do that you don't even look at your watch. The thing that you do that when it's over, you're actually sad. You're like, when can we do this again? What is that? And then figure out a way to build your own economy around that. It could be something as simple as fishing. It could be something as simple as, flying a kite. There are so many things that we can do, but I'm telling you, there is somebody else out there that needs it. And so understanding that you have what it takes to lead somebody. There are a ton of people that do motivational speaking, but there's only one Cicone Prince. Right. And no one can do what I do, the way I do it, when I do it, and where I do it. And so understanding that I'm not in competition with them, I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. And if you never take the time to understand who you are and what you have, you're always going to keep second guessing yourself. And you're never going to move beyond what's comfortable. If you think about where you want to be, it's just like in a GPS. You can put in a destination, but if you don't have your locations turned on, it's going to ask you, where are you? And we have to be honest enough with where we are right now. What's holding us back? Is it my fear? Is it the fact that I don't know? I may have passion, but I don't know how to do or what to do. You can find that out, but you have to be willing to step out. The only thing between you and your dreams is you. So let's get ourselves in gear and let's understand that we have something to do and a place to go and somebody waiting on us. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the fame or the fortune. Who are you helping? If you really want to impress me, show me the people that you help. Not the car you drive, not how much money you have. Who are you helping? Dr. Miles Monroe, he said that the fruit isn't for the tree. And if you know that you have fruit that somebody is waiting to eat, you will produce it and you will do it for them.
Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Money Making Conversations Masterclass. Welcome back to the Money Making Conversations Masterclass hosted by Rushion McDonald.
Wow. Talking to Cicone Prince, motivational speaker, personal development, leadership from a personal development standpoint. Motivational speaker, you said it earlier. It's a crowded field now, Cicone.
Oh yeah.
And then, there's like a lot of cookies on the table. There's a lot of flavors. And you can go out there, you don't know which cookie to buy, which cookie to pick up, which cookie to sample. What's separating you in the motivational game there, Cicone?
Well, I realize not everybody is for me. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. But there are a group of individuals that when they hear me talk, they gravitate towards me. Now, some people call it energy. Some people call it frequency. Some people call it spirit. I don't care what you call it, but when you hear my voice, when you hear my presentations, in fact, when you read my books, when you come to my events,
Hi, I am Rushion McDonald. As the host of Money Making Conversation Masterclass, did you know that Amazon ads can help your small businesses grow by connecting you with Amazon customers who want what you are offering? And did you also know that goes for services that don't sell products on Amazon too? So now your gym, painting service, car dealership, your restaurant or food truck can use Amazon ads to help find new customers that want your product or business. Whatever you sell or do, match with the right customers right now with Amazon ads. If you don't believe me, listen to a friend of mine from Amazon who is here to speak the truth about Amazon ads. Lucia, how you doing?
I'm good, Rushion. Thanks for having me.
Great. What exciting advertising solution is available to advertisers on Amazon ads?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I want to talk about our exciting new ad solution available to local businesses, even if they don't sell on Amazon. It's called Sponsor TV.
Awesome. Sponsor TV. And why should small businesses care about Sponsor TV?
Well, TV has long been considered a marketing channel reserved exclusively for large brands. But streaming TV has really changed the game. It is a transformative opportunity for brands to have the unmatched brand recall of television advertising and the insights of digital marketing. That's why, to bring TV within reach for brands of any size, Amazon Ads has launched Sponsor TV, a self-service ad platform with no minimum spend, simple setup, and zero hassle.
Love the no minimum spend and simple setup. Fantastic. Where can these type of ads appear?
Small brands can now deliver their message with full-screen, non-skippable ads on the largest screen in the home, in premium content like Twitch and Prime Video. Streaming TV advertising is a digital medium. Local businesses can experiment with shoppable ad formats like QR codes, and a remote control interactivity.
You have said everything you needed to say about Amazon ads. Let me tell everyone how to get started. Visit advertising.amazon.com/start now to learn more. Get $500 in ad credits when you launch on sponsored TV. Terms and conditions apply. Are you saving for a big purchase like buying a home, building, or repairing your credit, or budgeting for big family costs? I know from firsthand experience with my daughter how tough it can be to fit large expenses like college tuition into your budget. No matter what your financial goals are, Credit Smart offers free online courses and a customized path to help you achieve them. Set your goals, track your progress, and learn on your terms and on your timeline with Credit Smart. It's so easy to start. Just add your goals and Credit Smart will customize the experience to help you get there. These courses take the intimidation factor out of managing your finances, putting you in control of your future. Whether you're renting, planning to buy a home, or saving for the future, Credit Smart can help you plan and prepare. Your financial goals are unique. Your financial education should be too. Visit creditsmart.freddieMac.com today to learn more. That's creditsmart.freddieMac.com.
Bank of America employee volunteers like Dominique are teaching better money habits, including debt management.
If you have good debt, like a mortgage, you don't necessarily prioritize paying those off right away. But if you have some debt, really high interest rates, not the best terms, then maybe you prioritize paying those off or you take a balanced approach on it.
Bank of America is a proud founding partner of the Black Information Network. Learn more at bettermoneyhabits.com. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
So I want to talk about Joined by Blood for a minute. This is a national effort led by the American Red Cross, and they're spreading the word about the impact blood donations can have on people suffering from sickle cell disease. Joined by Blood references that special kinship we all feel for other African Americans, even when we've never met. Did you know that 1 in 3 African Americans is a match for patients with sickle cell disease? And on top of that, most of us have type O blood, which is commonly needed for emergencies of all types. The need for donors is real, regardless of your blood type. Every day, our blood saves lives and eases the pain of those living with sickle cell disease. Our blood is essential. Donate blood September through October at a Red Cross blood drive near you.
Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood to make an appointment now.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
Realize that I have something you need. And those are the people I've been called to serve. Everybody else, God bless you, heaven smile on you. But the ones that I've been called to serve, I'm here to help you. So that's who I am. And I can't be anything other than who I am. I'm not trying to be anybody. I'm not trying to replace anybody. I'm trying to be the best Cicone that I can be. Because I know me showing up at my best is going to inspire, motivate, and encourage somebody to do the same.
Now your latest book, H.E.A.L, which is H.E.A.L, Help, Elevate, and Learn, a guide to healing your inner child. Again, it's about that person. See, yes. One thing I love about you, in my short term of just doing my research, you keep putting the burden of responsibility back on that person. And I think I've never heard that. See, people always talk about come here, relax, come here with a group of people, you meditate together, but you going right, look in that mirror. We're talking about you. When you wake up, you're looking at you. When you go to bed, it's about you.
Right.
What thought process got you there? Like you started in the 3D animation, then you went on stage at the George Fraser event, and you went, these people are looking at me different. They're not really looking at what I'm doing. They're looking at listening to what I'm saying.
Yes.
And in the process of listening to what you're saying, you said, I'm gonna let you know that I can only get you there if you get yourself there. Correct?
Exactly.
Talk to me, brother.
Exactly.
So I'm getting on the Prince train now. Okay, Cicone.
Come on. Well, listen, I know how critically important it is for us to be able to work on ourselves, because I tell people all the time, no matter where you go, you're there. No matter where you go, you're there. And if you never develop yourself, you take the same thing from one relationship to the next, from one job to the next, from one project to the next, from one goal to the next, from one diet to the next. So if you never change you, you're going to wind up getting the same results. One of the ladies I had on my podcast, in fact, she said that some people are dating the same person with a different face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, because that really blew me away, because it's like we tend to keep gravitating towards the same thing, but we need to change our appetite. So that starts with us. That starts with us working and looking in the mirror and say, my personal development journey started when I was in college in Atlanta, and I was dating this young lady. Everything was going good, great, and fine and wonderful until it wasn't. And when the relationship was over, instead of me blaming her and instead of me, talking it down to her, I started asking questions, but not of her, of me. I started trying to understand and figure out, why did I do some of the stuff I did? Cicone, why is it that in most of the relationships you've been in, it was the woman that ended it? Why is that? And I started to do my own personal development, my own research to understand me better. And it wasn't until I stepped into the motivational speaking arena that I realized how much more work I needed to do. And so that's my thing. So many people, we ask questions of everybody else, but rarely do we do it of ourselves. So that's my goal, to help people to say, okay, why? It's not just what you do, it's why you do it. Some people say, well, okay, but that's just the way I am.
So what is that inner child that you're trying to get us to allow to grow? And I'm assuming that's the whole angle, growth internally. You let that person or that inner child mature and accept responsibility, then you'll be a better person for it. That was my takeaway from the book.
Okay, well, and that is definitely true. We want to do what I call an inner child checkup. A couple of years ago, I had a chance to speak at a Focus Women's Conference here in Mobile, and I finished my presentation with an exercise. And I had all of the ladies in the room. I said, okay, first of all, secure your belongings, because everybody ain't saved. Make sure your purse and your phone is right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had them to close their eyes and put their hand over their heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them to think about the little girl that's still in them and how proud she is of the woman that she's become. But then I also told them, I said, I want you to thank that little girl for the strength that she had to go through everything she went through for you to be here today. And you will not believe how many women of different ages and stages, ethnicities came up to me afterwards and thanked me. Some of them with tears in their eyes for that exercise of just reminding them of who they still had in them. And I think that was the catalyst for me writing this book, because it is so important for us to understand the things that went into making us who we are. And if we have current day behavior that was seeded in our childhood, especially if it's negative, we need to address that. We need to spend some time discovering. Now, you can start this process on your own, and the book is a great starting point, and even my podcast helps with that as well. But I've had therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists on my podcast to help frame up a lot of stuff I put in the book. Because my slogan for my podcast is, I'm not here to end the conversation. I just want to start it. Because a lot of people don't really realize that they have current day behavior that was seeded in their childhood. They're trying to impress or trying to please somebody that may not even be here anymore. And they need to just take a step back and look at why they do what they do. And understand that, okay, you can change that. You can rewire your brain, but you have to first identify what it is that's negatively impacting your life. And once you're willing to do that, then you can take the necessary steps, get the necessary help you need in order to unpack and repack your life. And even in my book, I talk about having a second childhood. We can actually get to the place to where life is fun again. But we have optimism and hope and we have dreams because, again, I think so many people are locked in a box and they have the key. They lock themselves in. My thing is, I want you to take the key and unlock and let yourself out and become the type of person that you dreamed of when you were younger.
I love it. We're talking with Cicone Prince, the author of H.E.A.L, H-E-A.L, stands for Help, Elevate, and Learn, a guide to healing your inner child. Now, in the whole process of how can we find out where you're speaking? How can we find out and stay in touch with you? You mentioned your podcast. Tell us your podcast. But more importantly, how we can get to your next speaking engagement, see you do your thing, or these are private engagements that are structured around events that people invite you to.
Well, actually, I have an event coming up in Dallas on October the 12th. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be speaking there along with some other incredible men. But the easiest way to find out, in fact, what's going on with me is you can check out my podcast, in fact, which is on my website, ciconeprince.com/heal. That's CICONEPRINCE.com/HEAL. And then I think there's another /. You can also follow me on all social medias. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and even YouTube. In fact, YouTube, you can go and see all of my podcasts. They're there. You can watch all of them. You can listen to them on Spotify and iHeartRadio as well. But the easiest way to get in contact with me is you can go to my website. My email is there, Cicone@CiconePrince.com. Even my phone number is there. So I am here to help everybody that I meet understand their value, see what value their value brings.
Cool. Couple of things. How old were you when you were in college, Cicone?
I was in my early 20s.
Early 20s, okay. And your name of your company, basically, you founded on personal development and leadership development, specializing in real world business leadership and personal accountability approaches, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in your early 20s, when you were in college, that's when you started understanding personal development about yourself.
Correct. I actually saw the need for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you did have this internal development between the ages of 18 and 24 that you are now making money on now.
Yes, sir.
That's all I'm saying, brother. All I do is just wrap it up and let you know I hear when people talk. Okay. Again, our gifts are discovered early in life. If we have to listen and understand, that's the journey. And the journey you living now, you started it, brother, in college.
Right.
You became a 3D animator. You went on stage and it started letting you know, giving you moments of saying, that ain't what you do, brother. That ain't what you do. Now what you're doing is what you do. And I'm going to tell you right now, Cicone, I'm impressed by you, brother. And I want to thank you for taking the time to fill out that form and come on my show. And I want to give you another opportunity to speak to another side of my audience, because the more people I believe hear your story, the more your brand will be able to impact the people that you're trying to impact. And I think it really is. I feel it really is true. It is all about you. I always tell people, stop that stop sign. That stop sign is that hand we kind of put in our face. When you look in the mirror, that's you. When you go to sleep, that's you.
Right.
There's some responsibility along the way. You need to hold yourself accountable. And that's the journey that you're trying to impose on us.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's it.
Thank you, sir. You're wonderful, brother. And I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you too as well.
This has been another edition of Money Making Conversations Masterclass, hosted by me, Rushion McDonald. Thank you to our guests on the show today, and thank you, our listening audience. Now, if you want to listen to any episode or want to be a guest on the show, visit moneymakingconversations.com. Our social media handle is Money Making Conversation. Join us next week, and remember to always lead with your gifts. Keep winning.
After we finished recording that podcast, he told me, he said, Cicone, I have to have you on my other podcast. Now, this one was a live broadcast on WCLK in Atlanta, Georgia. So here, check this one out.
Welcome to the show. I am Rushion McDonald, the host of Money Making Conversations Masterclass, where we encourage people to stop reading other people's success stories and start planning their own. Listen up as I interview entrepreneurs from around the country, talk to celebrities, and ask them how they are running their companies, and speak with nonprofits who are making a difference in their local communities. Now sit back and listen as we unlock the secrets to their success on Money Making Conversations Masterclass.
The interviews and information that this show provides are for everyone. It's time to stop reading other people's success stories and start living your own. I'm here to help you reach your American dream. If you want to be a guest on my show, please visit moneymakingconversations.com and click the Be a Guest button, submit your information, and the email will come directly to me. Thank you for considering, and thank you for everybody who's participating and wanting to be a guest on Money Making Conversations Masterclass. Today, my guest founded a personal development and leadership development company specializing in real world business leadership. That's really key right there. And personal accountability, very key right there. His approaches, he helps individuals, organizations, and companies get to the root of their behavior, performance, and areas of improvement to change their overall outlook and become more productive and encouraging and inspiring to themselves. Please welcome to Money Making Conversations Masterclass, Cicone Prince. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Really good. I'm glad you took time out of your busy schedule, Prince, to come back on my show. That's really amazing, brother, because you are very busy. Talk to me.
Well, I put it on my calendar. I blocked everything else out. I wanted to make sure that I was here to be able to share with you and your audience.
Well, a little background. This is not the first time I've interviewed Cicone Prince. He submitted the Be a Guest application. That's how he came into my life. I called him, we talked, and his story is about people who stop themselves from being successful. If I'm saying it wrong, please educate my audience on exactly your approach to motivating, not just through words, but through applications with your business model. Prince.
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, my first book was entitled, Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain? And the subtitle was just about finding your true purpose. And I've realized that there are a lot of people that are going through life and they're doing, in fact, what they were told to do, what they thought they should do, stuff even that they picked themselves, but the end result is that they're not fulfilled, they're not happy, and they're not satisfied. And so they find themselves, and really the whole book was based on a quote by Dr. Miles Monroe. And the quote said that the greatest failure in life is to succeed at the wrong assignment. And when I first heard that quote, the first thing that came to my mind was a picture of somebody standing on top of a mountain saying, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the bottom of the picture, there was a caption that said, but you're on the wrong mountain. And so I started to craft my message around that whole concept about oftentimes we find ourselves doing things that are really not fulfilling. In fact, they're really not what we've been called and given to do. And we find ourselves dissatisfied, and we find ourselves in situations where we are not the best version of ourselves. And I believe that dissatisfaction is one of the clues that we are supposed to be doing more than we're doing right now. And so I try to help people to understand that there's more in you than you're putting out. And if you ever come to that conclusion, you will start digging and you will start putting yourself in situations and around people that are going to help bring out the best in you so that you can be the best version of yourself.
Wow. Here's an example of myself being on the wrong mountain because, I went to college, got a degree in mathematics, was at IBM, and I was fantastic at IBM. Okay. I was one of those people who fast tracked. I worked 3 years undergraduate. So when I came out, IBM hired me. And in my third year, I realized that wasn't the path that I wanted. So I was standing on the wrong mountain. And everybody around me was cheering me. I was working for the Big Blue, African-American young man, straight out of college. They were happy for me. They were cheering for me. Right. But that wasn't my journey. And so, and I resigned. And I'm going to tell you something. When I resigned, Cicone, I was in tears. I was in tears.
Okay.
And that was important you hear that, because when you start shifting to reality, it can be very emotional. And that's the fear. And I think the tears were more the fear of unknown And let's talk about the fear of unknown, because I was able to push through that and resign, but there's a lot of people still trapped in that fear. Talk to us.
Well, in that same book that I wrote, Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain? I believe it's chapter 5 where I actually, said that you have to move your mind to the new mountain first. You have to see yourself there. You have to picture yourself there. You have to actually put yourself in environments that are conducive to where it is you want to go. I used to have my coworkers, they were like, you're making us look bad because you're coming here dressing nice and professional. I said, no. I said, I'm not dressing for where I am. I'm dressing for where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted them to understand I'm not locked into just where I am right now. So I had already moved my mind to where I wanted to be, to where I planned on being. And that's what everybody listening today needs to do. Okay, you see where you are. Any GPS on the planet is going to ask you for two things: where you want to go and where are you now. Now, a lot of people there have their destination. Yeah, I want to go to New York. Okay, if you don't have your locations turned on, it's going to ask you, where are you?
Mm-hmm.
And so many people, we are lying to ourselves. Well, I'm right next to New York. No, you're not next to New York. You're in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Let's chart a course. Let's get a path to get you to where you want to be. And so the first thing, in fact, we have to do is figure out where we want to go, but then we have to be honest with where we are so we can see what it is we need to actually get to that location and that destination.
Wow. Prince, when I first talked to you, it was the honest conversation of understanding goals, because a lot of people don't have goals; they have dreams,
right?
And then goals and dreams are two different things, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody can have a dream, but you have to plan a goal, and the goal has to be met with steps of how to achieve it. And when you achieve that goal, what do? You plan another goal, and so that's the discipline that, when speaking to you, I get every time I speak to you. What motivates you, Cicone, in being the person that you are? Because you didn't start out being a motivational speaker. To my understanding, you was a graphic designer. How did you go from a graphic designer? Because you was on top of that mountain. I'm sure you was on that wrong mountain too. Okay?
Yes, I was. And honestly, as I shared in my previous interview with you, I was at an event with Dr. George Fraser, the Power Networking Conference, back in 2012 in Dallas, Texas. And while I was there, I got called to be a part of a quick pitch business Olympics. And I hung up my cell phone. I was like, what is this? So I grabbed the brochure. I flipped it over. I found out where it was. And I had 3 minutes to present my company to a select panel of judges and the listening audience. And I immediately started rehearsing my elevator speech. And the next morning, it was 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday morning in the Crystal Ballroom. I had a chance to present my company. And while I was on stage, I had an epiphany. And that epiphany was that my words could be used for more than selling a product or service. I could sell people on themselves. And that's when I realized I was on the wrong mountain. But see, I tell people there are 3 things you can learn by being on the wrong mountain. The first thing is you can learn this is not it. It's not what I'm supposed to be. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing, just like you were at IBM. But then even being on the wrong mountain, you can see the right one. And that's what happened to me at the Power Networking Conference. I saw where I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then the third thing is it doesn't take you that long to get up the new mountain because you have mountain climbing skills. My slogan is, I'm Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. Because I honestly believe a lot of people don't understand and realize who they are and what they have. So what motivates me is helping other people. I really want to wind them up and get out of their way. I want them to understand that they have something to offer to the world. And once they buy into that, once they embrace that, once they accept that, I can just step back and grab me some popcorn and watch the show, because I know they're going to go and they're going to set the world afire because they realize that they have something to offer the world. A good speaker will have you talking about them, but a great speaker is going to have you talking about yourself and what it is you're able to do. And my goal is to be a great speaker, because I want to point at people to the point to where they realize, hey, I got to do something. I have something to offer. Somebody's waiting on me. Somebody is starving for what I have, and I'm not going to let them go hungry.
Don't he make you smile? Don't he? If you're driving your car and you're not smiling right now, thinking about thinking about the blessings that's coming through these airwaves. Because, here's the great thing about that mountaintop. See, there are many mountains. See, I told you about my IBM mountain. When I was over there,
right.
Everybody was, Rushion, they said IBM. I'm going to tell you about my next mountain I was on. I done Def Comedy Jam because I left IBM to be a stand-up comic. I did Def Comedy. I did Def Comedy Jam when I did it in 1992. That was the Def Comedy Jam. Bernie Mac, Bill Bellamy, everybody. Everybody done Def Comedy, and I did it. Hosted by Martin Lawrence. Opened a comedy club, and I was selling out in Houston, Texas. And my boy Steve Harvey came through town, and Steve Harvey told me he had an opportunity to get a TV show on ABC, and he wanted to know what I wanted to do for my career. And at that point, I told him I wanted to be a writer, a sitcom writer. And he had never heard that from me. He said, Rushion, I didn't expect that to come out your mouth. I thought you're so talented as a stand-up, and this club is selling out. He said, but that's not, and I could use your word, that's not the mountaintop I wanted to be on.
Right.
I wanted to write. I wanted to produce television. And that's what I've been doing all my life since I climbed off that mountaintop. I've been producing, writing, and changing the world and changing people's perspective and doing big events my whole life because I was courageous enough to walk away from being cheered, to being autographed, to being selfied, walking on stage to sold out shows every night, to saying that's not the mountaintop I wanted to be on. And that's why your book resonates with me, because a lot of people, they get trapped. And sometimes you stay on that mountain too long, guess what? It can get erode. It can just become old. And people can start passing by, don't even see you on that mountain anymore. Not saying I was afraid of that. I just knew that wasn't for me. And that's why I just want to keep bringing up because we talked about his book prior to the show. I said, we got to talk about this because it hit home with me. And I got to keep telling people it's more than one mountaintop for a lot of y'all out there. It's a lot of them. Don't get stuck on one just because you walked away from another. Am I right when I say that?
Yes, you are. And I remember hearing somebody saying that the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So once you've gotten to the top of one mountain, good, great, fine. Now there's another one. Okay, but you got to come down off of this one and you got to climb the other. But see, the thing about it is you have mountain climbing skills. You've already proven it. You've already done something. So that's so good. That's great. That's a part of your resume. So now let's go to the next one. And if you're not doing anything that scares you, your dreams aren't big enough.
Wow. He's here. He's on my show, Money Making Conversation Masterclass, Cicone Prince. I'm going to tell you something. When you come back, his latest book, H.E.A.L, that's H-E.A.L, Help, Elevate, and Learn, a guide to healing your inner child. We're going to talk about that. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not motivated to find a better self of you, if you're not motivated to get off that mountaintop that everybody tell you should be on, and you realize you're not happy, it's time to make a change. And hopefully he's poured into you on Money Making Conversation to help you make that change. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Money Making Conversations Masterclass. Welcome back to the Money Making Conversations Masterclass, hosted by Rushion McDonald. Money Making Conversations Masterclass continues online at moneymakingconversations.com and follow Money Making Conversations Masterclass on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
He is founded a personal development and leadership development company specializing in real-world business leadership. He has a new book out. It's called H.E.A.L, Help, Elevate, and Learn, a guide to healing your inner child. What do you mean when you say inner child, Cicone?
Well, Mr. McDonald, one of the things I've learned is in my motivational speaking, I focus on personal development and leadership development. Because to me, those are two sides of the same coin, because you can't lead others until you learn how to lead yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Once you learn how to lead yourself, the next logical step is to help lead other people. But I quickly realized that I left out one aspect of our personality that, quite frankly, was overlooked. And to me, that is our inner child. Because I've seen so many people have situations where they're in a child will act out. It'll get triggered by some situation, some circumstance, and it'll wind up costing them their job, their relationships. There's a huge fallout. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to raise the awareness that some of your current day behavior could be seeded in childhood wounds and childhood trauma. Mm-hmm. And I wrote the book because, again, I wanted to start the conversation, not end it. I wanted to start the conversation about childhood wounds, childhood trauma, but even more so childhood healing, because I think a lot of people really don't realize that, hey, why I'm acting where I am, it's not just that's how I am. It's not what you do, but why. So why are you like that? Mm-hmm. And so understanding that part of yourself can actually help you to in fact, develop some, coping mechanisms, and you can even get some necessary help if you need it. And I mean, all of us need help one time or another, and especially in this area. And being a African-American man, there need to be more voices, more male voices, focusing on this area of our mental health. And I'm not talking about illness, but just our health, being healthy, whole, and solid.
In our community, we last to accept, responsibility, especially on the mental health side. I know when I grew up in the neighborhood, man, we saw our cuz, we just said he was whatever, gave a name that we shouldn't be saying in public.
He was
touched or something.
He was touched. Yeah.
And all these terms, and I realized that, that person needed mental support. Right. We didn't want to. Right. We didn't understand that. Didn't want to be bothered with that. They come to the family reunion. We let them hang over there by themselves. Don't go over there.
Right.
He gonna say something to you. Don't get him upset. He gonna put his hand in the potato salad, and all that stuff. You just stayed away from these people. And I think that now, I live a stressful life, a very, very stressful life, and I wouldn't share my stress with anybody, Prince, at all. Mm-hmm. But what I do know is that. You got to have people to talk to. You got to have people who support you. You got to have mentors. You got to have somebody that you can share, whether it's a loved one, your wife, your girlfriend, your dog, somebody.
Yep.
You got to talk to somebody to heal, because you're not going to heal by yourself. If you heal by yourself, that leads to depression. And depression, once you go there are not many negative things or positive things come out of depression if you stay there, if you know what I mean. So
that's true. That's true.
So how did you, my friend? You talked about, you was at this event in Dallas, this 3-minute elevator speech, and on stage you realize this is what you do. Listeners are going, I want to be a motivation speaker. I can't tell you, my people have told me they want to be you, Cicone. I want to do what he do. Can you tell people what you really do, sir? So they can understand the amount of work you put in and the amount of convincing. He didn't have to convince me. I'm telling you something. This brother filled out a Be a Guest form. After talking to him for 5 minutes, I said, he knows what he's talking about. If you listen to him, he's not just motivating. He's telling you things that you should be doing to improve who you are. That's key. I meet so many people, you walk away from, I don't know what they said or what I usually tell them, stop talking to me, please. Because you're not helping me, brother. I can listen to music on the radio and not remember those lyrics, okay? So please tell people what you do, sir, okay?
Well, like I said before, my slogan is I'm Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And anybody that wants to be in a motivational speaking arena, they have to have a why. They have to understand what their why is. And not only understand it, they have to be passionate about it. A lot of people are like, okay, well, I don't know what that is. Okay, what is the thing that you would do that you wouldn't even look at your watch? The thing that you would do that you get sad when it's over. It could be making baskets. It could be, helping the elderly. It could be fishing, painting. It could be crunching numbers. And you're just at peace, and you know that this is what you've been called and given to do. Well, that is your passion. That is your why. And that should be the motivating factor behind you. It has to help somebody else. Because like Dr. Miles Monroe said, the fruit isn't for the tree. Your gift isn't for you. And even me, a lot of people wouldn't even realize I used to have a stuttering problem when I was a child. And if I get really excited right now, I could probably wind up falling back into that. But I have learned the importance of, okay, Cicone, you have something that somebody else needs. You have somebody that they need to something that they need to hear. So you have to be able to package it and put it out. And so I started working on it. And I'm telling you, once I found my right mountain, this is my right mountain. Helping people to see themselves in a better light, in a better space, in a better place in life. And it comes across even in my voice, even with the passion that I have, because I'm not just telling you something that I'm reading off a piece of paper or a PowerPoint. This is who I am. This is a part of who I am. And if you haven't found your why, I don't care what you get on stage or what stage you get on, you're not going to be effective. You're not going to make a difference. You're not going to make an impact. Nobody else can be you. So your history, your background, your story, all of that is going to distinguish you from the next person. But if you're not passionate about what it is you're doing, you're just going to be somebody up there talking.
Wow. That's why he on my show. My show. He doing more than just talking. I'm going to just tell you something, man. Stuttering. Steve Harvey had a stuttering issue when he was a kid. He'll tell you that. He stuttered.
I heard it.
He stuttered. Stephen A. Smith, dyslexic. Yep. Dyslexic. Okay. Two of the biggest talkers, African-American talkers in the world today, overcame issues in their life. You know, I was painfully shy as a kid. Couldn't tell what? Sitting in the back of the room, just a little smart big head boy. That was me. A little smart big head boy. You know, every girl I want to talk to, I never could open my mouth because I was just afraid to say hello. You know. But, you know, I overcame these issues. You know, I have a southern drawl. That don't stop me from talking. That gonna tell. Right. I just gotta learn to talk slower, put a few better diction on certain words so everybody can understand what I got to say, because I'm gonna have something to say. But more importantly, you, my friend, you are a blessing to me. Hopefully, everybody who's listening to the show have taking some stuff away that I always tell people, when you listen to him talk, please have your notepad and your pen ready, because he's going to give you about 4 or 5 phrases. You're going to go, I want to put that on my mirror. That's going to go on my vision board, because that's the type of person we are. As we wrap up this show, man, please tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you, man, because you know you're going to be on my show more again and again. Because I'm going to tell you, man, once a quarter, I'm going to get a little Cicone refill. Cicone Prince back on the show. Purple Rain coming with information. How can they get in touch with you, Prince?
Cool. Well, listen, for those that want to connect with me, you just go to CiconePrince.com. That's CiconePrince.com. And you can search me on all social media platforms. I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. No, not Snapchat. TikTok. Goodness, I forgot about that.
Hey, brother. You know, Snapchat. I never found you on Snapchat. So TikTok. See, sometimes brother's good, but sometimes he needs somebody like me, a brand manager, to come in his life. Keep him focused.
Hey, there you go.
I love it, man. But again, you know, his new book, latest book is H.E.A.L, H-E-A-L, Help, Elevate, and Learn, a guide to healing your inner child. And more importantly, if you stand on that mountaintop, it might feel good, but is that the right mountaintop for you? I just shared you 2 stories. One was at IBM, and believe me, I felt fortunate. I felt a tremendous blessing to work for IBM. I still do. That's an experience I share with everybody, because I know it's unique. I knew for an African-American young man coming out of the college that, wow, I was working for the Big Blue. And then to do the Def Comedy Jam, share the stage with Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, all these great comedians. And then one day, Steve Harvey come in the club and tell me he's got a sitcom offer to do a show on ABC, and he asked me what I wanted to do. At that moment in my life, I said, I want to write. Those are courageous moves that I made in my life that brought tears every time I did it. But it was not the mountaintop that I wanted to stand on. I'm standing on the right mountaintop every time I come in here and talk to everybody on this radio show on Money Making Conversations Masterclass. And I want to thank you, Prince, for taking the time to come on my show, brother, because you are truly a blessing.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you again. And I want to say to your audience, Find your right mountain.
All right. We talk soon, my brother. We will talk soon.
All right, Doc.
Today, my guest found today, as we say always, that time of the month, you know, the seasonal holiday season, and people gonna be taking out, people gonna be eating food they shouldn't be eating. This has been another episode, another edition of Money Making Conversations Masterclass, hosted by me, Rushion McDonald. Thank you to our guests on the show today, and thank you, our listening audience. Now, if you want to listen to any episodes or want to be a guest on the show, visit moneymakingconversations.com. Our social media handle is Money Making Conversations. Join us next week, and remember to always lead with your gifts. Keep winning. The American dream is available to you. Just keep listening. This has been another edition of Money Making Conversations Masterclass, hosted by me, Rushion McDonald. Thank you to our guests on the show today, and thank you, our listening audience. Now, if you want to listen to any episode or want to be a guest on the show, visit moneymakingconversations.com. Our social media handle is Money Making Conversations. Join us next week, and remember to always lead with your gifts. Keep winning.
Listen, I hope both of those podcasts gave you something to think about, and you can also understand and know that you have something to offer this world. And I want to ask you right now to just take a minute and think about what is it that you can do to make the world a better place. Okay, now once you have that, I need you to start working on that. And again, this podcast is brought to you by none other than BetterHelp. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/Cicone Prince H.E.A.L. You answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who's had years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or your computer, via a phone call, a video chat, or messaging. However you feel most comfortable, it is the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/Cicone Prince H.E.A.L. or choose Cicone Prince H.E.A.L. during your sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. And listen, I want to thank you for taking your time to listen to both of these podcasts. And just know that we are here to help you to heal. And listen, this is Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal, introducing you to yourself. And I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the H.E.A.L podcast. We'll see you in the next podcast.